Hello.
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 I have three main lenses. The lens that I'm shooting this on right now, 16 to 35 millimeter 2.8. This 85 millimeter prime, which is a f1.4, and a 70 to 300 4.0 or something. So I have a telephoto lens, a wide angle lens, which I'm shooting on, and a fast prime. That's sort of the three lenses that I always go with. 3 weeks ago, I thought that I lost this lens, which was a big bummer because so I thought I was going to have to replace this lens when I couldn't find it anymore, but I did not want to spend like $2,000 again on a new prime lens. So I did some digging and
Disturbing the peace with some peace of mind. Sleeping in jeans, I'ma need a night. OG on the cheap advice. OC on the cheapest flight. Lately I've been on the move trying to get to something. But I told her I've been running just to see the sights, see the lights, and they're not my type. She would chill with a brother if it's ice all white, but it's not. Am I living life in a box? Tell if it's a crisis or not. I hate coming off too normal, but I could use a wife and a dog and a job and a white fence off where the white kids walk. Well, if I've been lost, don't know where the days went.
So this is called the Helios 44-2. So it's a vintage lens that was made in Soviet Russia back in the 70s. And vintage lenses I think they made like a big comeback in the film creator community like 2 years ago, but I didn't really know about it. And so I did my research on it. I thought it was very exciting to read about it. Plus, it was only $250.
If you don't like this music, then don't be listening to it. You know, I'm just a dude that you know, or something similar. If you don't keep it real, can you go somewhere but here? Cause you know, we're only losing control just for a minute. Or if you don't like this music, then don't be listening to it. You know, I'm just a dude that you know, or something similar. If you don't keep it real, can you go somewhere but here? Cause you know, we're only losing control just for
I already did this whole bit. Came out here, it was really sunny. I had the new lens, and I was shooting with this lens, through this lens, and you could see like the flares from the sun. Through this lens, you could see the flares like on my car. I deleted all that footage on accident. And now it's cloudy today, so I can't do any of that. But I was talking about vintage glass versus modern glass. So why would you buy vintage glass over modern glass? Two reasons. First reason is price. This $250, this $2,000. Why is this so much more expensive than this? Honestly, I don't have a great answer for that. I just think that this lens produces a very much more modern, sleek, sharp, digital look versus something like this. And they can sell this glass for $2,000 and people will buy it. So the thing about buying lenses like this is that if you were to go on Canon's website right now and buy this 85mm 1.4, you would get the same thing that's in my hand right now. It would look the exact same, it'd have the same color rendition, it would have the same sort of sharpness, it would flare the same amount, not really at all. Everything about this lens and the one you get off Canon's website would be pretty much the exact same because they're all mass produced. These lenses were not mass produced, they were all custom made, handmade one by one. So each of them is sort of a little bit differently. The glass was cut a little differently. The colors sort of look a little different from lens to lens. The bokeh is all a little bit different. So they have different aspects to them that people talk about, they refer to as character. So this lens has a certain character to it that this lens would not, because this is mass produced. This is sort of more of a one-on-one type of product. This lens in particular is known for its swirly bokeh. It's where like you have your subject and then something in the background, especially like trees or something like that. If they're like a certain distance apart, the background sort of swirls around the subject and gives it like a sort of a dreamy look. Also a characteristic of this lens, I'm going to talk more about the company that makes this one, but it was customized to have anamorphic flares and anamorphic bokeh. So there's sort of like this cut inside the lens. There's like a line that goes across it, and it produces these flares that sort of go horizontally across the frame, and you also get like oval bokeh. The main difference in look between these two lenses, this lens actually is pretty sharp. Most of the vintage lenses you get are not really going to be as sharp, whereas this is a very sharp looking lens. This looks pretty and this looks true. Sleek, digital, modern, pretty look. Real, true, organic is sort of an overused word. Look. Oh, there's a puppy running to me. Hello, Mr. Puppy. Hello. Hello. How are you?
Hey guys, heads up.
Huge check-in. Can you say bye? Bye. 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 I love the lens. I love it. 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 Last thing I wanted to touch on. You can get this lens for $50 on eBay. This is a modified version of the lens that I got from Iron Glass Housings. If you want this lens, I definitely think that you should buy it from them. If you buy it on eBay, you're going to have to do like a bunch of custom DIY modifications. If that's your thing, all good. If you're like me and that is not really your thing when it comes to this because you don't know how to do all this stuff, then it'll only cost you $200 more and you can get it customized exactly to your specifications. So I had it customized with anamorphic flare and anamorphic bokeh. It comes with these aperture rings and focus rings so that it's a little more tactile when you're actually using them, and also you can like hook it to like a follow focus system. And then one really important thing was they offer a little lens cap that has a 77mm thread. So if you're like me, you have a 77mm variable ND filter that you can just pop on, and then you have your ND filter on there. So this vintage lens from the 70s all of a sudden becomes something that you can use on all your cameras. The company that makes these, like I said before, Iron Glass, they do not sponsor this, but so if you go on their website, which I'll link below, you can get yourself one of these for like $250. And website's a little bit weird. They're based out of the Ukraine, so it's a little bit difficult to like get around. So that's why I was also a little bit skeptical about this at first because of their website. I kind of thought $250 for a modified version of this lens that's going to do all these crazy things. Kind of thought it was too good to be true. Definitely turned out to be good and true. Bottom line is, if I were to be going somewhere tomorrow where I was bringing my wide angle lens, my telephoto lens, and I can only bring one of these two lenses, this one costing about $2,000, this one costing $250, I'm gonna bring this lens.